Hi, my name is Thomas Hogle. I'm the lead attorney at Canyon State Law. Today I wanted to talk about driving under the influence in Arizona. Arizona is a harsh state to get a DUI. However, that does not mean it's hopeless. It does not mean that you should give up. Having good representation on your side is key to being able to get through a DUI case. The maximum penalty in Arizona is 6 months in jail. A $2,500 fine plus a surcharge typically takes it up to about $5,000. Probation is available for up to 5 years on a DUI. Typical misdemeanor cases would be 3 years. Those are not penalties that you should really concern yourself with if it's a first or second time offense. Typically, you're going to be looking at lesser versions of that particular range of penalties. The minimum penalties in Arizona, and why it's harsh here, is that minimally you will be sentenced to at least some form of jail. It could be home detention, but a large measure of these cases end up with at least 1 day in jail, depending on the facts. The minimum penalties also require treatment, alcohol treatment or substance abuse treatment, depending on what was found in the blood or breath. And based on those types of factors, Arizona's harsh. It's mandatory jail, mandatory treatment. But on top of that is the motor vehicle. On an alcohol DUI, they are requiring interlock on the vehicles. So there's a lot to take in on a DUI charge in Arizona. Again, I don't want to say these things to give you hopeless feelings or feel like this is a stack against you. The good news with a DUI case is that it is a pretty complex case. The police have to have reasonable suspicion to stop you. If they don't have a reasonable suspicion to stop you, then there are some good motions that can come in on your case and challenge the validity of any evidence that is collected by the police. After a stop, there is usually an investigation for a DUI charge. So an investigation would include field sobriety tests, an officer looking at your eyes, looking at how you've driven, and taking some of these things into account to try to assess whether or not they believe you're impaired. If they believe you're impaired, there is a standard that they have to follow. If they do not follow that standard, then a lot of the time we can challenge evidence at that stage of your case as well. And then the blood. If they come in and the officers arrest you, take you in, put a needle in your arm, try to get blood out, or if they take your breath and try to determine your blood alcohol concentration with breath, then there's a whole lot of science that goes in between those tests. So those tests can be something that can be challenged later as well. A defense attorney a good defense attorney, mind you, will go in there and look at every issue that's along the lines of your driving under the influence charge. If it looks like there's some good evidence that can be suppressed or removed based on what it is that we're finding as we go through the case, you have a good shot at least reducing your charge, or even in some cases getting your charge dismissed, or having a good case to end up going to litigation and fighting it in a jury trial. So these are things to consider when you're looking at a driving under the influence charge in Arizona. One of the things I would say is make sure you feel confident and comfortable with who it is that's representing you with your DUI. If your DUI charge is something that's really stressful to you, it's something that's really gnawing at you, you need to have that confidence in the person representing you, because it will help alleviate stress. It'll help you be able to feel confident through the proceedings. And the other part of this is just make sure that you do everything in your power to look good in the courtroom. A lot of people who are getting DUIs in Arizona are typically good people that either is a mistake, or there's some sort of one-time incident, or it is something that's not common for them to do. A lot of my clients are not criminals. So it is something to be able to help show the court that you're a good person, that you're definitely not the person that's perceived in these police reports and things that are called against you. It is good for us to be able to prove that. So at this point, those are the things to look at. Look at who's representing you, make sure you're confident and comfortable with them, and then make sure that you're doing the things that you can to look good in court when you actually do end up going to court. So at this point, if you need any further assistance, please reach out to me at Canyon State Law. My phone number is 480-630-7672. You have a good one.